I'm going to be portraying what it looked like for me living in a shelter at some point. Because I grew up in and out of shelters and homeless. And I realized that not everyone's done that. And so I want people to know what it's like and how to support people in that area, just being a human being.
Hello, and welcome back to this week's episode of the TF Cast. My name is Willis Stout, and I am one of your hosts.
Hey, Grum here. It is October 26th here in the solarium with the extra close-up shot today.
And I'm your host, Jacob Bases. Today with us, we have Echo to introduce their show, Mount Surrender, coming up. Go, just kick it off. Tell us about what's going on with the show.
I'm Echo again. I'm hosting an art exhibit called Mount Surrender at the 410 Art Project in downtown, Old Town Mankato. I'm not from here, so I'm still learning all the words.
It's not Old Town, I don't think.
It would
it's
be downtown.
Front Street, downtown, yeah.
In the downtown, exactly. I knew exactly where that was. And it's going to be a pretty vulnerable show, and I'm really excited. I'd like to bring awareness and shed some light on experiences that minorities in the lower class experience. It is also going to be a benefit show for CADA, the women's shelter. I got an update that but I have to talk to them to see if I would like to have also a bin that people can bring in. What is it like
food donations
no,
or
not
something?
Food. It's like a women
toys.
No,
Just
it's like sanitary
hygiene products.
hygiene products.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, but I'm excited because it's gonna also include one of my new found passions, I guess. It's gonna have an immersive experience where I'm gonna be portraying what it looked like for me living in a shelter at some point. Because I grew up in and out of shelters and homeless, and I realized that not everyone's done that. And so I want people to know what it's like and how to support people in that area, just being a human being.
You said that there will be an immersive experience. What are people going to expect to see when they come in? Is it going to be art on the walls or? So
there's going to be art on the walls for sure. But as far as an immersive experience, well, since I'm sure a lot of you guys locally have gone to the 410 before. I wanted to use that space in the back that has like a dead end hallway almost with a red door. Mm-hmm. So I was going to make that into almost a bedroom. Or like the living room I spend time at. So expect to see some curtains and some pillows because it's supposed to, it's almost like also bringing light to mental health issues or experiences that we have, dissociation. And I would like to also reference Adventure Time if anyone's a fan out there. Mm-hmm. There was this one episode where he gets really sad about bubblegum, I think. And there's a part where his face sinks in and he kind of goes into the pillow, and then in the pillow he keeps moving pillows, and he's in this world, and he's there until he grows old and he dies. But then that's not his real life, and he comes out of it and he's like, oh, back to reality. So I wanted to use that as an entryway where it's like my life feels like a movie scene somewhere in a lost dream. And so there's going to be, I don't want to spoil too much of it, but it's definitely new. I don't know. There's this artist who does a lot of, I don't know if I was supposed to mention that before I got here. Her name's Nadia, and I would call it set displays almost, where she puts seats out with, it's like in the movie theaters, and there's a bunch of popcorn on the floor and stuff like that. But it looks like you're at the movie theaters, but no one actually sat there and watched a movie. But
well, they call that a period room in some cases. It's like a they call them that at the museum, at least. period rooms where they have
I
like
called
a
it an
capture
immersive
thing.
experience because I wasn't really sure. I know
that's probably
immersive
fair.
is like there's lights and sounds and stuff like that. There will be sounds and it'll be a different light than when you are walking around through the gallery. So that it'll be a, like you said, mixed media. I'll have my writing, I'll have paintings, and some print work of some art pieces I did just because my art pieces are pretty small and I want them to be more seen. But I'll have a open sketchbook, like one of my younger ones, because I started collecting my own artwork since I was 11. Once I got a little more stable in a way of my living situations.
Would you describe your experiences as an artist? When did you start? Did you have any training, or what did you do first to where you are now?
I wouldn't say I had any training. I guess training would be experiences that I had, just because a lot of my pieces were kind of how I was feeling or what I was thinking. I know for a long time I was really inspired by skate fashion, just because I grew up like in and out of California. Like I was like in California and in Mexico, but California is just Mexico. So there's just a lot of skaters. And I remember I first started like, I want to have my art on skateboards and I want to have my art on socks. I remember one of my biggest inspirations at the time was Tyler, the Creator, because I was like, at the time I was like, I'm supposed to pick one thing. Like I have to either be a singer or I have to be just like an artist. And I was like, oh wait, no, there's people out there who do literally everything. This guy has, I'm pretty sure he did have like some kind of runway of skate fashion at some point, and then he also performed, and I really like that.
He also owns a shoe company.
Yeah, yes, yeah, and I was really big on fashion at the time.
And part of that shoe company is actually socks as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Because that's like the number one part of a skater's outfit is their socks and their shoes, but socks foremost because their shoes get torn up. But
Socks are an underrated part of any outfit, I think. Yeah, cool. So that's how you got into art. Maybe continue there. You wanted to do some socks and branding,
right?
Get your art on stuff.
Well, I guess I just continuously, it was kind of my outlet, so I used it a lot. And in school, I mean, I actually started collecting them more because I had a hard time in school because I moved so much. So sometimes it felt kind of pointless. Or I'd get kind of lost in the sauce where they'd be teaching something, like I have no idea what's happening. And so then I'd start like doodling on the notes. And then that became like, oh man, I really want to keep this. Or I wish this was a tattoo. And then I'd be like, I'm just going to keep it. So I'd like tear a piece of the note and then I'd keep it in a book. And that is going to be also at my show where I'm going to have like the younger pieces with a collection of like little ripped scraps of notes that I drew in class. Because I mean, a lot of people do doodles when they're in school. So
what mediums did you gravitate towards early in your process?
mostly pen. I think when I first started really calling my stuff art, it was strictly pen and marker.
Like what you got on hand.
Yeah, it was, but I didn't start with pencil. Like I wouldn't sketch something out and then do pen. It was
just hard
straight,
right away.
Right away.
Ink it.
Was that like an accessibility thing, or was that just like the medium you preferred?
I think it was a medium I preferred just because there was pencils at school and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of creative people all over the world, but California, I think, has a big emphasis on being creative and finding something that about you that you can share. Which now I've learned, I'm like, well, not everyone has to share their artwork, but now it's, so pens were like my first, like, oh, I'm gonna buy this pen. It's like $4, but now I have this pen that's gonna last until it falls apart. So, yeah. But along with other stuff that I'll have on my show, I'll have like I'll have this apple here.
You should bring it up.
Yeah.
This very unique apple.
Okay.
This is my whole apple. This is small, but it's pretty big. But to me, I would consider it small, so I get really loud. To me, like I said, I moved a lot, so I constantly had to start over. And I know for a lot of people, they also have to start over. They can't really hold on to belongings, which also can become, I think that's also how like a lot of people start hoarding, because they're not allowed to hold things. And then at some point when they actually can have a space, they're like, I'm allowed to have all these things. And so they start keeping it, which, I mean, it's just another perspective on like why people are a certain way. And that's why I like to think like, well, everyone has their reason, you know, we all move a lot. So this little apple here has all these things as a child that I thought was important to me. And we can go if you want me to open it.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what little Echo thought was important at the time. Let me just bring this down here. I remember some things. I know I had like my little brother's stuff.
Did this coincide with your desire to start collecting your own artwork?
Yes. And it also is a message in my artwork with the apple. The apple will be at the show because my message is like I can make, or my gift is that I can make any place my home. And so here's this apple. So
yeah, let's go through it. Show and tell.
Well, first we have a Polaroid. It's completely black. It says home. That one looks like it was August 26th, 2016. And here's...
When did you move to Mankato?
I moved to Mankato at the midst of the pandemic around April of 2020. So literally when everything was shut down, I couldn't find a job because no one was hiring. I couldn't make friends. It was just me, my partner, and his wonderful, kind family that took me in, and him while the world was going crazy. I got very lucky, and I'm very thankful. So yeah, I ate good.
That counts for a lot. Yeah. Well, let's keep going. Let's see some other objects.
All right, so I want to pull this one out because this one's just funny. This one, this is my first Valentine. I was in 5th grade.
Look at that cutie.
Yeah, so there's a Snoopy here. I think we have
what's a sock?
My little brother's sock.
All right.
So I thought that was cute. This, I had a whole bunch, but somehow it just gets, you don't really get to keep everything. So this, I got this as a gift. This is like one of my first like art supplies that was gifted to me that I was really excited about. So these are like the Crayola twistable crayons. Oh, yeah, thank you. I wasn't really sure.
A little bit this way.
Thank you. Fitum. It's pretty sure this is a college that also had, I remember reading on it like a skateboard class thing where you would design skateboards and stuff like that, which I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna do skateboards. But my art kind of evolved to more like patriotic art, where it's like I want to scream out to the world like, hey, you should look at this and like remember we're all human beings, and it's not always about profit. I mean, it is, I guess there is profit, but it's more like profit in like different forms of wealth that I want to do, like building relationships as far as like when you meet new people and how you view them, and just like not immediately making assumptions, even though we're all valid to make assumptions.
Okay.
And then here's my first lip gloss. There's a lot of stuff here. Oh, look at this. I'm pretty sure I sold chocolate, but the eyes are gone. I think everyone got one of those.
Wait, what is it?
You know, like when you sell chocolate in middle school or something, or elementary,
like
at least they made us do
prize.
it. They made us, and you got a prize. I think I'm pretty sure I didn't sell them. I think I got a box to sell, and then I ate them.
Well,
I ate them.
I did that once too, and there's no consequences.
Yeah. Oh
Sign
gosh.
me up.
you go sell them to your neighbors and then like, oops, forgot to deliver.
Yeah, I literally did that once.
Yeah.
Savage, dude.
This rock made it all the way from California. It's a triangle rock. I think I got it at a lake.
Yeah.
Wait, this might have been my first lip gloss. No, that looks older.
Is any of it being maintained? You know, like you is that like for special occasions only?
Oh gosh, I would never put that on. That is so bad. I'd probably get a rash if I did that. Oh my god, that's so funny. This Hawaii bracelet, I thought this was. I still think this is really special. I don't know. Like she went to Hawaii and she came back and brought me a bracelet. I'm like, you thought about me while you were in Hawaii? Why? We're like 7 years old. So I thought it was really cool. And so I kept it. A piece of my brother's candle. He's 4. And what else? Oh, I have, this is really tangled. So I'm just going to, this is what it is.
Oh,
These are,
jewelry.
yeah, these are like, my friend gave this to me, but I know that I have a best friend necklace. When I was around like 12, I worked for not my landlord because he lived in the house. We kind of like lived in like people's houses. Like my whole family would like live in like one bedroom, like 4 of us. And he said that I can help him do some landscaping jobs. And he gave me like $100 a day. But it wasn't all the time. It was just like this one time. And so the first thing I did was go buy everyone gifts because I love everyone. I don't know what this is. I'll have to find that out.
A USB.
Yeah. Well, I have no idea. Mystery. This is just a project I made in 7th grade.
Look at those cute little fellas.
Yeah. I think this is like my children. Like, you know, when you do like,
Claus.
what is my children's eyes would be yellow or something. I have no idea.
Looks like a little Santa Claus.
Oh, my first cool pen.
Oh, that is a cool. What is the tip of that? Is it a
think
fountain
it's,
pen?
Yeah, I think it's a fountain. Like I think you could refill this. Yeah. Another piece of candle. I'm pretty sure this is like his first birthday. Oh, the Walker Museum. That's here. I guess I don't even remember putting this in there, but it was memorable to me.
A cool place.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Me and Ark like literally just went there last weekend.
Cool.
I love it there.
Yeah, it was cool.
I hope to one day make it to share my art at some space like that. That would be cool. Appreciate it. I appreciate the place.
Are people at the show invited to rifle through this stuff or?
I don't know if you guys wanna, but you can rifle through my sketchbook because I'll have an open sketchbook there with like a little pieces of stuff, little sketch that I did in all my notes and stuff. Yeah, the rest is just like rocks. I don't think you want to see everything.
And how does it contribute to overall the art? Is it just adding context?
Yeah. I guess my context would be that I have no idea. Like just bring an awareness that people be homeless and you don't even know.
It's kind of a cool way to like show your personality too.
Yeah.
Around the art.
Yeah, and I guess in a way it's like like little moments are like a ripple of like what's important to you.
Love it.
Yeah. So like even this little candle, this little sock.
It's interesting seeing your little collection of things. I think I don't know what my little collection looks like anymore, but I'm sure you'd find some like similar-ish stuff. Like I think as kids we probably collect things, like call it like a little trinket, like a little toy,
Yeah.
or like a you did the Walker pin, like some random thing, maybe with your license plate with your name on it or something quirky like that.
Is that a little Polaroid?
Yeah, but it looks like there's writing on the back. It just says you can't make people into homes. That's sad.
Oh.
That's sad. I was 15. It was 3 days before my 16th birthday. I think I had visited California for the first time after I got adopted by my sister and her partner. And it was like, I don't know if I'll ever come back here. Because you get so used to a life, and then you step out of it, and you're like,
Welcome to the Triple Falls ad read. This is where I tell you a little bit about what we offer, because we're a production company. We offer video services, production stuff, sound, lighting. You could even have a podcast that looks like ours if you wanted. Speaking of the podcast, if you'd like to connect with us and ask us questions, send us guest recommendations, or even sponsor an episode, connect with us at cast@triplefalls.org.
Yeah. Well, what ended up bringing you to Mankato, and post-pandemic, what has the experience been like coming into the arts community here?
well, I moved to Mankato because of my wonderful partner named Angel. And I lived in Florida for some time. But it's kind of a loophole with like money and work, and also there's a wonderful art scene out there. It's big. I will say it's much faster than here. So I do appreciate now that I'm coming into the art scene that people are taking time to notice the work that I'm trying to share, and a sense of community and supporting each other to build. But I didn't really have that long of an art experience in Florida, just because I had when I first started creating out there, like sharing it, I was 19, and I had moved like a year after, because I was like, I'm ready to explore the world, like make moves that I actually want to move, compared to like having to move because there's nowhere to go. So it's nice that I found this place, because Minnesota nice is kind of cool sometimes. I didn't know that you guys were actually this nice. So
Well, maybe we are in this room.
yeah, I can't speak for everyone, but I do believe in the unicorns of nice people out here.
Sorry, a little deviation. A lot of the people we chat with are kind of long-time Mankatoans. What like, you mentioned seeing some nice art here and some people doing stuff. But yeah, like what are some takeaways from your first while here and beginning to explore the art scene and music and stuff like that?
Well, I will say that the first place that I went to, like an actual place that was open that I can go to, I visited before moving here one time. I went to the Coffee Hag. So that is kind of a really nice introduction to Mankato. And then I was like, I'm going to live here. Because they were like, oh yeah, sometimes I do music here and you can share your art. And I was like, I'm definitely going to do that.
Cool.
So yeah, that was how what was the question?
Just like hot takes from your time here, being in
Is that
Minnesota.
something that you have been able to do since? Have you been able to do anything at the Hag?
I haven't yet, but I kind of did one time during my shift. My bad. But there was like an open mic, and someone was playing the guitar, and then I offered to sing So they were like, oh yeah, come on up. And then we just sung a song together, and it was awesome. And I definitely want to do that again. I just only have synths right now. Oh, well, I guess I played a little bit of synth up there, but it was like maybe like a minute or two because I didn't have a whole setup.
Yeah, and you have been doing some music here in Mankato too, since you've been here.
Yeah, I will say when I first moved here, I got extremely lucky. My first neighbors, when I got my first apartment, was Robin Becker, who I ended up being in Goal Area 51 for some time. That was awesome.
Yeah, you were on the first gig I ever mixed for Triple Falls.
Yeah, and that was really funny.
Yeah, that was a good time. A quick version of basically Robin said, "Can I get more echo in my monitor?" And I didn't know Echo's name was Echo. I thought Robin was asking for more delay. So then I cranked up the delay in her monitor, and then Echo and Robin are like, "Why is my vocal doubling in the wedge? What's going on?" And I was like, "You asked me for that. I don't know what's going on." And then after the show, we realized, oh, I need to ask people's names before I mix their show. Yeah, it was really funny.
That was a great show.
Yeah, that was a good time. We really want to do it again.
I want to thank you again for putting that on it was a live stream because my mom got to see it.
Oh yeah.
And my mom had never seen me perform because she's in Mexico. So I'm extremely thankful for that because I was like, wow, my mom got to see me be like walking around and stuff, like, you know?
Yeah.
So I was really happy with that.
And you were rocking a tam, I believe, as well, a tambourine. For that set.
Yeah. I love tambourines. I will say I was really bruised after that show.
Yeah,
like,
you were smacking your leg.
Yeah, my whole leg. Like, it was like the worst top 10 bruise.
Yeah.
Top 3 bruises I've ever had in my life.
You can
Just
hear it in the
beating
video.
yourself with a tambourine.
Yeah, you can like hear it in all the mics on stage. Like he's smacking her leg. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Most honorable pursuit.
Wow. Okay.
And Patty, by the way. Patty was my next door neighbor.
Oh, wow. What
yeah,
a lucky
I got so lucky.
We love Patty on Triple Falls.
Patty.
Nice.
I should be hopefully hosting a second show. Secret. Next to Sidetracked.
Cool.
This is not the place for secrets. This goes on the internet.
I'm not going to tell anyone. They'll just show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
Discover it here.
Yeah. But it'll be right next to Sidetracked because I would also like to bring awareness to all the opportunities that Patty shares by having Sidetracked there. I know I've been able to ask Patty for something and then like, dude, I have it right here waiting for you. And I'm like, really? Because that makes everything so much easier. I didn't have an easel because that'll be another thing about my show. I've never really painted on a canvas. So that's new. Because I'm, again, like more of a pen marker person. But I thought I'd experience doing all sorts of new things.
When did you start painting?
Probably at the beginning of the pandemic, so January of 2020. But I only painted on paper and probably on things that you shouldn't paint on because it's not gonna last. But I did with what I had.
And you just like came into some paint or?
Yeah. Before I moved, I went to a thrift store because that is what I do a lot. And they had a big box of like paint for like $1. It was like used, of course. It was like, I don't want to find something in here that I can use. So I did. Yeah. I have a couple of things that I've painted on that are like, I don't know why I decided to paint on it. Like there was like this really old rusty knife, like the big knives. I just painted like some like prayer hands on it and some like stuff, and then I keep it in like a metal box with like some like ribbon and stuff. And I don't know, that's just a part of my art. Be a cool thing to display, like on like a case.
Yeah, that's not part of the show though.
No, just because I don't have a safe way to keep it. You know, I wouldn't want to keep it out in the open.
What
But I mean, who knows what people could do with this apple? That'd be
Yeah.
don't.
What do you want people to know who might be showing up? Do people need to like show up with any kind of an idea about how, I don't know, something to think on, or an introduction statement, or what do you want people to know about the show?
I want people to know that this is going to be a vulnerable show. There's going to be things that I'm sharing that I don't feel like is shared enough. I feel like after you walk away from either an abusive relationship or like just homelessness, that you're supposed to come out of it like a warrior. You're supposed to be the strongest person. You're supposed to face everything just like a tiger. And sometimes you walk away from that more sensitive and more reactive, like PTSD or just a lot of trauma. And that doesn't always look like a warrior, even though you are definitely a strong person for being able to carry that weight with you every day. But sometimes when those kind of feelings are held, people become symptomatic, and then people see those symptoms and like, oh, you're being weird. And it's like, no, they're having symptoms of things that they experienced. So like something as simple like, oh, that person's a hoarder. I wouldn't think that right away. I would just be like, oh, they're collecting their stuff because they feel like it's important to them. And that can be a trauma response to not being able to hold things. I wouldn't consider myself a hoarder because I have a lot of cool things. I would just consider myself a very excited collector.
They're good that you need them. Yeah, I also have many objects, many more than I need.
My dream is to like have like a cool house or like a space or something, and then like live like I Spy, and then people can like come through and like look at my stuff, and it'll be like an I Spy book. I think that will be, in a way, what my next show will be like. Just like kind of more like have you focus on the detail of things.
Sure. What are your artistic aspirations? I mean, here and in general.
Aspirations. Wow, we're getting the big guns out. I just having a voice, being able to share, being a part of the community, definitely. And then reminding people, all sorts of reminders, but reminding people that it's like we're all one human family and we should be able to support each other and remember that we're humans.
Is that something that you have felt here in Mankato? Like, do you feel like that Mankato is receptive to that message, or that this place is? I like to feel like I've been a part of this arts community for a while now, and I feel like it's very much that. But I have also been here for a long time, so I'm looking for the perspective of the person who has that message and is also coming into it.
I would say yes, definitely, in my experience. And if someone's not having that experience, call me. I will help you. Because like I didn't even know that I could get a grant. I don't even know what that is. What's a grant? And Robin's like, you gotta sign up. You gotta do this. And my friend Sabrina's like, you gotta sign up. I sent you an email, this person, do this class, a makerspace. Like there's a lot of opportunities here.
Yeah.
Other than you having to really dig deep on where you could squeeze yourself somewhere. Because I know in California and in Florida, it's really fast, constant movement. You have a really great day. You got to put your stuff out. That's awesome. Next day, someone else, there's like 10 more people. And it's just really fast. And so here, it's like, the word gets around like, hey, I heard that you're doing this. And I'm like, I am? You guys heard that? That's actually official? Or people, I'm going to put this in my calendar. I'm like, you guys are putting that in your calendar? You're like really going, wow, okay. I'm going to be perceived. All right. So that is my experience in Mankato. And I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
It's cool.
Sure.
There's a lot of cool stuff about like art scene in the area. It seems you mentioned grants available in Minnesota, and I don't know. There's something neat about like a community that has, I don't know, call it like a right-sized arts community or something, where you can enter it without too much friction and like, I don't know.
I would agree with that, because it's like in that way, with the size of our community, we're able to connect with other people that way.
Yeah.
Just like how I hung out with you the first time at a small synth meet, and it was like 4 of us, which is like exactly the right amount of people I want at a synth meet.
Yeah. That's been a great example of that, where we can kind of like do the most, and it's still just like tiny and works great.
Synth meet, shout out all the synth players. Look at Triple Falls, you'll find it.
Yeah. Cool.
Well,
Is there anything else you want to like let people know about the show, or any other things that we maybe didn't get to? I think we talked a little bit about music, but we didn't dive too deep.
I was just about to touch base on that.
Yeah.
I was going to say that after being in Goal Area 51, which is like one of the first few bands I've been in like one other one, and that was actually how I decided on my own name, which is Echo. I was in Echo Ballad. It was me and one other synthesizer, or 2 synthesizers, but one person playing it, and it was the best thing ever. I love it. But just that I don't think I'll ever be in like a band that continuously like has the same songs. If there's any artist that is looking for a vocalist, hit me up. I'm totally looking to like jam out and find new sounds, and if it is something that we end up liking together, we could like play a pop-up, because I'm looking to do that for my next show, and then like we don't have to do that again, or we could just jam out. I love creating music and finding new sounds. I know that in Florida there's a huge noise scene. Other than music, there's like a noise scene where it's like synthesizers and a bunch of even power tools will come up, and there'll be like mics, and like it's this whole experience of vulnerability and sounds and expression.
We like that kind of stuff around here, I think.
I do.
Yeah, there's a local guy named Jameson who likes to do stuff like that. I probably see him do a set like once every other year.
The person who has the vintage?
Yep.
Yeah.
What? Jameson?
Yeah. Final Seed.
I want to know. I want to hear these sounds.
He actually puts out an album like every year with I can't remember the dudes, these 2 dudes from other countries.
I think it is under Final Seed. I'm not sure. I'm sure he'll send me a letter if I'm wrong.
Like an actual posted letter.
Yeah. Well, I guess one of the last things I want to mention is thank you to the Minnesota State Arts Board for funding this. I had no idea that I could get a grant, and so thank you to Robin for telling me, and I had no idea that I could do it. So thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us on the podcast and sharing your upcoming event, which is happening the
November 8th, Tuesday night at 6 to 8 p.m. It's a one-night showing, and it's going to be for Cada's Women's Shelter at the 410.
One night to catch it all, November 8th.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.